Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex. Today we're going to be taking a look at Penko Park on the Nintendo Switch, a Pokemon Snap inspired experience. I can't question the motivation, we simply don't have enough entries in the genre, but is this one worthy of a spot in your library? Well, that's what I'm here to find out, so hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. Penko Park, then, it's a game about exploring an abandoned wildlife park where your task: meet the local creatures, take photos, and occasionally interact with this world. It is no question an incredibly simple setup, but what surprised me was there's all sorts of tourist spots scattered around, willing to give you just a little more information, whether that's about the creatures or the location itself. They may be small facts as well, but I found it honestly absolutely intriguing as it built up this world, leaving me somewhat confused but also somewhat questioning the motivations of those behind the location itself. Now, I don't want to go into more detail. Again, I wouldn't consider it a story in a traditional linear sense, but I will say it's absolutely unique, and that is a compliment for sure. Gameplay then, and as my opening statement suggested, this is heavily influenced by Pokemon Snap. The idea is simple: follow an on-rails path and take photos of the local wildlife in their natural habitat. Much like Pokemon Snap before it as well, these photos are awarded a star rating and then put in place in what is a digital photo book. These photos are nothing more than aim and shoot outside of a zoom functionality. These creatures then, they can be found in a multitude of states as well, whether that's, let's say, angry, sleeping, or even flying. The game instantly tells you the states you can spot them in, and your job it's going to be to uncover how exactly you get them to do this and how you can get the best photo of that situation. Basically, how can you get them to transition, let's say, from sleeping to flying for that next pose. I really enjoyed that almost puzzle element of the game though, and personally I found it a lot more satisfying than the traditional best photo. Yes, you do get a 3-star rating here, but think to the most recent Pokemon Snap at times, didn't seem to have a rhyme or reason behind its star ranking of certain photos. Here it keeps things simple: closer photos with a nicer crop awards higher. It's definitely easy here to make sense of the madness. The game starts off though simple enough. It throws you into a jungle environment, but quickly then it starts to reveal a number of tricks up its sleeve, and that is mainly thanks to what is a skill tree between runs, so to speak. You see, you'll be awarded XP for good photos, and in turn this will unlock a star stamp. Each star, it's automatically applied to this tree. The first unlock you'll get though, a grapple hook. This can pick up collectibles, flick switches to change your path, even uncover new locations, and that is just the beginning. We'll see everything here from the ability to throw items, to speeding up and slowing down the cart, to a wand which can play different songs that impact the world and the creatures in some way with simple inputs, and those inputs are actually scattered across each of the contained maps. This skill tree as well, it also acts as a sort of progression system where you unlock new locations, and before you know it, you'll be underground at a volcano, even underwater. The ability to change paths then as well, it definitely leads to a sense of wanting just one more go. What if we missed something simple that last run, even those last few runs? And honestly, that was often the case for me. I couldn't help but keep on going back. You'll even unlock a ghost vision, which throws you into a new world of ghosts with a very specific haunted creature that you can capture momentarily. While it's relatively quick as well to unlock the entire skill tree in this game, it's been designed to be played over and over again with a handy little progression meter under each map, detailing just how many secrets you have uncovered, and it often just shows you how much is left still to go. Issues-wise, a few of the placements do feel a little cheap. The skill tree, it forces the unlock order on you as well. I do wish we had a little more power in deciding how we played that next step. Also, I did find the controls at first just a little awkward. The sensitivity, you're going to need to adjust that, and the control placement took a while to feel unnatural. For example, the left stick pans the camera, the right controls the zoom. I personally would have reversed that. It's minor though, honestly. I did get used to it, and as far as original spins on the formula go, I think it's one of the better attempts. That's particularly true as well because the narrative, you can uncover more with exploration, and I think that's what you need in a photography adventure, a setup that drives curiosity by rewarding it, and that's exactly what Penko Park achieves. Graphically then, talk about unique, it's best described as almost a paper-like cutout style. The characters move in some seriously unique ways, their poses always surprised. I was always excited to see what came in next, and then thematically from scrapbook to world, it all made absolute sense. The menus then are clean with easy to understand navigation, and the visual effects, they're never what I'd call impressive in that traditional sense, but they do pack a ton of character, like the grappling hook as it flies into the distance. What surprised me the most though, the character designs themselves. I can't help to describe them as basically sometimes cute, but often almost creepy, like an experiment that's gone wrong. That just so reinforces, for me at least, this sense of something's a little bit weird going on here in this park, and honestly, by the end game you'll see some imagery that will absolutely stick with you. It's also worth pointing out then at this point, it's suitable for all ages, but I don't know if it was simply the design or the combination of elements that had me feeling that way. Overall, although I'd describe it as the park appears to be run down, and your exploration, it's almost this sense of arriving years after closure. Very cool though overall, and I particularly enjoyed the scrapbook that keeps things as simple while occasionally giving a hint or two of what is expected of you next. Audio finally, not a huge amount to talk to, a few sound effects for the world, reinforces the locations, and some somber music backs things up. I found it personally, honestly pretty forgettable, but it still did its job of reinforcing each location, and the sound effects for sure help in creating that sense of, let's say, a safari into a world that's not quite like our own. It's fine, it does what it needs to, and it never offends the ears. Penko Park then, it's about as unique as they come, which strikes me as a funny thing to say because with so few entries in the genre, it's easy to spot the influences immediately, but do not let that deceive you because it's worthy of more than a simple Pokemon Snap clone tag, even though I'm guilty of it. I've said it myself like multiple times throughout this video. It's just the genre though that fascinates me, and it continues to impress, and it's one of the better attempts that I have seen. The world is interesting though, the wildlife unique, the photography simple but effective with a simple kind of crop-in fire assume ability, and then there's multiple maps to explore with a change in environment for each that makes sense around the creatures that you will witness. I've seen deeper mechanics, honestly, photography wise at least. Think Umurangi Generations, a fantastic game, I'll link my review of that one below, but Penko Park, there's no question, it absolutely has heart. For me though, I've had a blast with this one. I want to go back, I want to finish that scrapbook. I also want to see, can I uncover any more secrets of this world? Is my suspicion around its weirdness justified, or me simply reading into things in, the complete wrong way? That's an incredibly well-designed setting though, when it leaves you questioning what is happening around you, and with that in mind today, I'm giving this one an amazing 9 out of 10. Will you be adding this one to the library then? Let me know in the comments down below. With that then, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.